So we do have wrestling to talk about. Do you want to talk about OTT, Barry?
Sure.
A damn fine show.
Indeed, yeah. A damn fine show. Tell you what, kick things off here. With a criticism. We got into the show, got into our seats, and as the show got underway, they kicked it off straight away with the announcement that we were not going to get Matt Riddle versus Pete Dunne.
Ooh.
Which
The Empire Strikes Back.
I was quite unhappy with that. Particularly because I don't know. This is just a guess. I don't know that was sprung on them yesterday morning. So that was a bummer. Now they put on a great show, and they said circumstances out of our hands. They didn't announce what those were, and they said, but we've got surprise opponents for them to make up. Now I was generally happy with what we got. I mean, in particular, they had Riddle face Marty Scurll, who was a complete legitimate surprise. I don't think anyone knew he was going to be at the show. Genuinely great moment when he came out. But nonetheless, really disappointing. This is only the first time it's affected me personally, but I'm fed up of all this WWE UK stuff, which is what I can only assume is what happened here. It was weird because Dunne wasn't pulled off the show, and he still wrestled in the main event, which I imagine is going to be on their VOD thing. I was speaking about this privately with someone, and the working theory that we all seem to have is that OTT's hand wasn't forced on this, but that they appear to be washing their hands of the WWE UK hacks. And obviously they couldn't put the title on Riddle. So for those who don't follow, Pete Dunne is the champion at OTT. And he was scheduled to face Riddle in a title match, and they put the title instead on Ryan Smile, who's a regular, who's available, who does pretty much all their shows. I think they made the decision to just go in this direction to get the belt on someone they can reliably book.
That was very much my read of it as well, is that it wasn't to do with like streaming or anything, but it was they needed to get the title off Pete Dunne in the event that he eventually becomes unavailable, that they wanted him to be beaten by somebody.
And they couldn't put it on a Yank, who might never come back.
Exactly, yeah. What if Matt Riddle never returns?
My understanding is I'm confident he will be back, but again, you don't know. So and so not to jump straight to the main event, but the main event was really weird because Pete Dunne is a face in OTT. He worked the match like a major heel. Like they put Ryan Smile over mega strong. Like he kicked out of a low blow and had two finishers and all this stuff. Like they really hammered home that he was.
I guess because he's a heel in WWE.
I guess. I mean,
or at least he was.
It was very odd, but anyways, that was the one negative. Other than that, I mean, we can kind of go through the show here. Great atmosphere as always. 600 people packed in there. So they had only announced two matches, one of which, as we just discussed, they switched. So it was a card full of surprises. They teased the Finn Balor countdown gimmick that they did at December. And when it hit 0, Justin Shape came out, who did the heel turn at the last show. And he cut a great promo, I thought. I'm looking forward to him as a heel. Go on.
I thought there were too many promos on the show, especially at the start.
There was a lot of talking.
The first half hour was just promos.
So Justin Shape came out and he talked, and he introduced the heel owner who came out and talked, and then Martina came out, who's a babyface, and she talked for a while. And then they introduced Ginny, who is the one of the top heel women in the UK.
She's great, by the way.
She's fantastic. I was so excited when she was back because everyone fucking hates her. She didn't get into any scraps this time, which I'm disappointed in. But she comes out in like the most elegant major league woman's outfit ever, like just putting everyone else to shame. Like she looks like she was going to wrestle like Charlotte on a WWE pay-per-view. Just this like this sparkling kind of gown and necklace. It was great. And so she had a match with Martina. All right match. Not
I thought it was really good. I thought it was really good. Really good match.
Yeah, I mean Ginny is fantastic. Martina is pretty good. Martina is obviously beloved in the Tivoli. And Ginny won clean.
I was really surprised by that. She beat her at her own Gaff party.
Yeah. So Martina's an interesting kind of character because she is like the most over person in OTT as far as homegrown acts go, and they sort of don't really protect her in any way, booking wise. Compared to Pete Dunne, so Paul, you bore witness to since OTT's been in existence, Pete Dunne has lost 2 matches.
Yeah,
They have protected him as a heel from the beginning of the company all the way up to his title win. He then lost the title, and then he was protected all the way up until his second title win, and then he's protected all the way up again until this loss. So they protect him like crazy. Martina, they really don't. I guess she's kind of a little bit of a Sami Zayn.
they probably think she'll be over regardless. You know,
she's the underdog. Yeah, it's so we'll talk about the Scrapper Mania thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they'll try and get Ginny in for that show. And do some big match. But that was great. Seeing Ginny live is always great. So second match was just in shape again, back out for a match.
Wearing a pair of Spanx.
Wearing the most ridiculous outfit. I honestly couldn't fathom what it was. It was like half of a set of like Big Show-esque over-the-shoulder things. I don't know what it was. But he faced Eddie Kingston. Who was cool to see in person. Been a fan of Eddie Kingston for years. They had a solid brawl all around the ringside and whatnot in the ring. Kingston's chops were absolutely disgusting live.
Yeah.
He went to all 4 corners of the ring, chopping Justin's chest, and his chest looked heinous. I was trying to think of there's some well-known match I'm trying to think of where in WWE where someone's chest was lit up and disgusting like that, and I can't remember what it was. Maybe one of the Jericho Benoit matches where they would always chop the shit out of each other. But big red handprints on Justy's chest. It was a solid match. People were into Kingston. They liked seeing Justy get his ass kicked. Although the finish of this one completely sucked.
DQ.
They were just having the match, and Kingston was House of Fire, and one of the Humperdinck, who is the heel owner, got involved and just I can't remember what exactly it was.
He punched him in the cock, is what happened.
Oh, it was a low blow. That was it. And then all the heels ran in and did a beatdown. Yeah, that was on the far side of the ring from me, so I couldn't actually see what it was. I think the ref was in the way, and all I just saw was the bell ringing, and I was like, oh, what the fuck. That was confusing because it's like, what, is Eddie Kingston coming back and going to be on every show or something? I don't know why he didn't just lose.
He had his whatever his little team in TNA is called, DCC or whatever. He had those pants on.
Yeah. I was like, well, on the one hand, they're like, they look like professional wrestler TV stars.
Well, he came out as Eddie Kingston with the like bandana on his head and everything, but he has little TNA pants on.
And the bulletproof vest, but yeah, his pants said DCC, so that was odd. But good match. Seeing them brawl at ringside was cool because Kingston's a good brawler. It was pretty convincing seeing them scrap on the outside and throw slaps and punches and throwing each other all over the building. That was cool. Then after the match, the Gymnasties came out for the save. And cut a promo, getting all fired up. Here was our second bit of talking for those keeping score.
It was very weird what they did, by the way, because they came out and Sammy D rushed the ring, but the other lad hung back for some reason, and then they were getting attacked.
Yeah.
But then they didn't reference it afterwards then. So was it like a subtle hint at a split? I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, are they... Okay, it's like, are they teasing a further split? Like, they're all 3 of them are going to be singles, or is it just the thing of Be Cool, who's the other guy? Are they teasing that he doesn't want to beat up Justin Shane?
I think that's what was implied, but it wasn't explicitly said.
Yeah. Now, I might watch the VOD, see if maybe commentary plays that up. I'm sure it will probably lead to a moment where they're squaring off in the ring and he eventually decks him and there's a big pop. I'm sure that would be the direction.
The way they go. Okay.
So yeah, that was match number 2. Again, 2 solid matches so far. Next up, again, so the whole card was a mystery. So pretty much every time a graphic came up, people were going crazy for whatever was announced. Up next, we had Mark Haskins versus Mark Andrews. This, I believe, unless he worked one sort of in the last week or so, was the first match of Mark Haskins back since his big injury, his neck issues. And he looked tremendous. This was a fantastic match. They worked, it went 100 miles an hour. Haskins didn't miss a step. Andrews is obviously fantastic. If you only just discovered Andrews sort of at the WWE UK thing, you'll probably be aware that he is very, very impressive, and he certainly was here. Yeah, great. Honestly, if it went a little longer, this was like a main event caliber match almost, with some great near falls and stuff like that. So Haskins won clean, and I love that match.
It was great. Yeah, one of the best matches on the show for sure. I know Andrews obviously from the UK tournament and also being in TNA. Haskins, I believe, was in TNA. Am I right saying that? But I didn't know much about him going in, and I was very impressed.
I remember I was actually talking to someone about this not that long ago. We were talking about bad first impressions. I remember Haskins had a pretty disastrous first run in TNA. He famously, you might remember this, he did the shooting star press.
Oh, onto the top rope. Yeah.
This was actually quite a while ago. This is like 5 years ago at this stage, maybe even longer. I remember seeing that thinking, who is this fucking geek? Like what? Like this guy sucks. And then his name started getting some more prominence, obviously, as the British wrestling indies kind of gained more and more momentum. Now I've watched Progress, and he is just tremendous. So yeah, he was really fantastic here. He was prominently featured in the Progress documentary that was out a few weeks ago. Very likable guy, very passionate guy. So it was really cool to see him coming back from his injury and succeeding. And yeah, they hugged after the match, and everyone cheered, and it was good stuff. What was next? Was the Riddle match next?
Yeah, Riddle against mystery opponent.
So fuck, I'm just drawing Matt Riddle. I was trying to remember what the fuck Matt Riddle's first name was. And I'm wearing a shirt with his name on it right now. What is wrong with me? Matt Riddle came out, and everyone was very, very happy and very receptive to him. And of course, he was supposed to face Pete Dunne, and people were very disappointed. And so they said, and his opponent, in the Howard Finkel way. And it went dark, and Marty Scurll's video started to play. And my God, the roof just came off Tivoli. He, of all the people, a lot of people debuted last year for OTT, Ospreay and Ricochet and Skrull and a bunch of others, Zack Sabre Jr. He may be the most over person, maybe in the whole promotion. Like every time he comes out, it's like this megastar, and it was a great surprise. Genuinely didn't know he was on the card. I didn't even hear a muttering from anyone, even in the queue. I didn't hear it on Twitter. I didn't see anything. Genuinely surprised. So that was great. So he had a match with Matt Riddle, and my goodness, Andrews and Haskins and this match back to back was when you're like, all right, this is a great show, because they had an absolute belter of a match.
Absolutely. I know Skrull, but I haven't seen much of him since he kind of implemented this new villain character. There's bits and pieces here, but nothing proper. Riddle, of course, I know from his time in the UFC. Yep. It was brilliant, lovely style. I think their styles match well together. The catch wrestling and the kind of technical style of Skrull. I love he's got one of the best spots in wrestling as well, Skrull, the finger snap that he does, which he also did on Matt Riddle's toe at one point.
That was maybe the highlight of the whole show.
Yeah.
So for those, if you're not familiar with Marty Skrull, he does a spot where he grabs his opponent's hand and tells the audience to shush, and then he basically pulls their hand apart like a chicken wing, and he somehow simulates a snapping sound. It sounds disgusting in person. I'm not sure how he does. I think it's maybe like his elbows against his abdomen or something. The slapping sound. But it
might even be the old, when you shake someone's hand and they click their finger around your thumb, something like that.
Maybe, yeah. So and it always gets a huge reaction. So he did that spot, And it was kind of a match of two halves, because the first half was very methodical. They were trying to get each other in holds, and Riddle, obviously being the MMA guy, he was like getting Skrull's back, and Skrull would stand up, and Riddle was still on him, like with his hand around his neck or whatever. And in the second half, they did a lot of crazy near falls, a lot of trading of submissions. And in the midst of like a Matt Riddle flurry of kicks, Skrull grabs his feet. He wrestles in bare feet. He grabs his foot and does the shush spot and twists his toes, and it was like the greatest spot I've ever seen live in wrestling.
But he can only do it against someone who doesn't wear boots, so
that's what made it cool. It's like this is like maybe the first time that spot's ever been done in wrestling. It's like that simple spot was cooler than when Ricochet jumped over us in December. But it was absolutely fantastic, and Skrull won with the chicken wing.
He submitted him, submitted Matt Riddle.
Yeah. Which I was surprised by. There was murmurings or rumblings that they were going to put the title on Riddle, and he went from that to losing to Marty Skrull, which was interesting. But again, Skrull's a regular, and Skrull's mega popular, so they keep him strong. And then Skrull put a promo about OTT and Matt Riddle, and everyone cheered. And they played Regulate, and all was right with the world. Lots of bro-related chants, bro TT and whatnot. So he was, and he was subject of a please come back chant, which I certainly think does. He's a champion in progress, so I'm imagining he will be in the UK quite a lot. So
yeah,
get him over.
He's a friend of the show as well now, of course.
Who is Matt Riddle?
Yeah, he liked my tweet on Twitter. So
why? What did you say to him?
He posted a picture of him and Tyler Bate, and I replied saying WrestleMania 38 main event.
Ooh,
He likes that, so yeah, that's my prediction.
You should go to a show in the UK that he's on, Joe.
Yeah, I would, and then we'd probably hang out and become mates afterwards, I imagine. 'Cause both lads, both great lads. So
both experienced shoot fighters, you know.
Yep.
So
yes, I don't wear shoes to work, so.
Then the Body Bros came out.
Three of the sexiest men I've ever seen in my life.
Or, depending on your perspective on things, three of the most hateable cunts. Because they're all jacked, and they come out in extremely tight jeans.
One of the lads' jeans look like they're painted on.
Yeah, and the
main one.
Yeah, and the main one, Adam Max, he's the guy who did the thing where he went into McDonald's with the healthy food.
All right.
Oh god. No.
Did you see that, Joe? You familiar? Paul, you not seen that?
No.
It's went viral for like a minute there late last year. He went into McDonald's and brought like his own dietitian fucking nutritional food, and he posted on Instagram, and he posted a caption, sometimes I go into McDonald's and eat healthy food just to show people how easy it is. It went viral, people saying, if I saw you there, I'd throw a chicken nugget at your head. So that blew up to his credit, so he got some good attention there. But yeah, he's the main guy, and he is fucking jacked. He is absolutely huge, and he's wearing these tight, ripped jeans, so it looked like he was the Hulk busted out.
He had the baby oil in excess on as well.
Oily as fuck. And they're all tanned, and they all come out in just like much like our friend Ricochet was rocking in December, the tight jeans, no top aesthetic.
Calvin Klein underwear peeping out.
Oh, yeah. God, they're great.
By the way, as an aside, where we were sitting, speaking of being able to see people, what they have under their pants, sorry if this was you, by the way, but the person in front of us, stereotypical fat neckbeard wrestling fan, pants halfway down his arse every time he'd stand up. Lovely look of a hairy arse there. I mean, we all like wrestling, okay, but... And I know some of us never leave our houses, but when you do, can you pull your trousers up at least? Maybe his trousers didn't fit him. Maybe he's too fat that his fat kept pushing the trousers down. But I don't want to keep looking at his arse every time he stands up, please. Thank you. I want to look at the hot men in the ring now. Not fat fan, man. Anyway.
So they came out, and they, straight away you knew they were doing the disingenuous heel thing where they're like, give us a hard time sometimes, blah, blah. Fans were chanting steroids at them, by the way. So they were like, we're here at Martina's Gaff party. We want to have a good time. So they invited Martina out. They referenced her Gaff party last year where they crashed it or whatever, and they said they had a gift for her, and they gave her a bag, and she took it out, and it was what was it? A jar of fat burners. They said, and they said
called her a fat bitch.
Yeah, they called her a fat bitch. And then
I was like, "What's this? Vince Russo TNA? What's going on here?"
Yeah, and then they said it over and over and over again for a half hour. No, but so basically, she then punched them all in the face. They backed her into the corner like they were going to beat her up. When an approximately 9-foot tall man in a hoodie got in the ring and took off the hood, and who was it? But only all the par is over. Drew McIntyre. Drew Galloway again, coming after the Skrull surprise. This was like back-to-back surprises. People went ape shit, and I was slightly exaggerating, but he looked like a fucking giant in this ring.
It's funny because the main guy of the Body Bros is huge, and Drew Galloway was like 3 feet taller than him. I was like, how big is this man? He's a giant man.
Yeah, so he cleaned house on all of them. Everyone went crazy. Just as an aside, it's pretty cool that he has recouped himself and built himself a little bit of an indie.
Oh, absolutely, he's great.
A bit of indie cred because he was nothing leaving WWE. They really broke him down, and Evolve and PWG and ICW. He's built quite a resume for himself. So it's very
TNA
cool.
as well, in fairness, where he was from.
But TNA, yeah, as well, and he did a lot of work in TNA, and he did the somewhat now cliche Drew Galloway promo where he talked about how great the indies are, and it was genuinely quite great because of course he is a veteran of the IWW, Irish Whip Wrestling back in the day, and he talked about Sheamus and Wade Barrett and working with them and the highs and lows and working with a little fella called Joey Cabray back in the day, and it was very cool. He seemed very earnest and very happy to be there, and he announced that he would be at Scrapper Mania 3 in April, which is their big event. So that was cool.
Which was, by the way, the real highlight of the show, never mind snapping the toe, is they had, like WWE do, they had a little Scrapper Mania sign up on above where the fans were.
Oh, yes!
And there was a point at the sign chant, at which point he aggressively ran over to the turnbuckle, climbed up on it, and pointed at the sign.
Yeah, like he was Randy Orton winning the Royal Rumble. He announced he was being Scrapper Mania, everyone cheered, and then there was a point at the side chat, and he looked around like the most genius pro wrestler ever, and then he ran over very quickly to the turnbuckle and pointed at it to the biggest pop of the night. That was great. That was so great. And moments like that are what make OTT great. So I
hope someone got a good photo of him, like they have on the front page of WWE.com. Drew Galloway pointing at the sign in the background. Except in this case, the sign was probably no more than 4 or 5 feet away from him. It wasn't off in the distance.
His giant arse probably could have reached out and touched it.
Picked it up and ran around this arena with it. That was brilliant.
That was
a great surprise and fun as hell as a little promo.
Yeah, it was a fun thing. Yeah, again, more talking, but that was fun talking. So that was intermission. Came back from intermission and they did Speedball Mike Bailey versus Jordan Devlin. Bailey, it seemed like a bunch of people. I had 2 observations about him. It seemed like people didn't know who he was at first.
He got no pop when he came out.
He got no pop when he came out, and he got because he, if you don't know, Speedball Mike Bailey, he's like a legitimate kickboxing and taekwondo expert. I think he's a black belt in one of those things, and he comes out in a gi, and he also wrestles in no shoes. So there was Karate Kid chants, and Joey would have loved it. Wax on, wax off chants. So my second observation was that despite not knowing him, he got over like a motherfucker in this match.
Yeah, I must say, obviously I've seen Mike Bailey before, but big fan of old Mihal Obalya there with the the spin kick. Now, he didn't, unfortunately, properly hit one of his spin kicks. He'd often miss the spin kicks, but yeah, his style is really good. He did the moonsault or shooting star into the knees, which brilliant. Amazing move. Love seeing that live. Yeah, he got over real strong. Devlin again. The more I see of Devlin, I don't really get. He's not great, Devlin.
Don't you think so?
I mean, his shtick, he does his shtick well. That he's kind of a RC heel, but
Yeah.
when he's actually wrestling, I mean, first of all, you can't. There's actually a guy across the side of the ring from you who had a sign. I can't believe it's not Balor, which was very funny.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
He does just come off as a little bit of a lower end Finn Balor, unfortunately. Not as good Finn Balor.
My big takeaway from the UK tournament thing was like, you know what, he should like shave his head and get a new look and get new gear, and if he doesn't want this to be his thing for the next 10 years of people chatting this shit, like he should go drastic and do something different with his look.
Or on the other hand, fully embrace it and come out in like face paint and everything. And
maybe
play up to it to an outrageous degree. At least in OTT, like, you know, that would get over if you came out as Balor, you know.
So the fans. I was actually kind of surprised. So there were like shit Finn Balor chants and all that stuff, which like there never was. And people joke about it. It's not like people didn't even think about it before the tournament. Like they were aware of it, but people never really said it at OTT. And I was talking to the guy sitting next to me. I was like, it feels like it's a slightly different crowd vibe at this show compared to others. Like maybe there were some new people there. Maybe, you know, again, maybe the aid of the UK tournament helped. But yeah, so they were giving Devlin a hard time. But again, he's a heel, so it works. So it was fine. But really good match. He won with the package pile driver. I don't know what Bailey's situation is. Obviously, he can't work in the States anymore. Rev Pro use him somewhat regularly. So if he's around, which I think he will be, I would absolutely love to see him back again.
It's just me as well, or did Mike Bailey used to be a bit chubbier? Because he's in really good shape.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because I remember when he showed up in PWG, everyone loved him, but it was also like widely discussed that he looks like an out of shape child.
Yeah, because he doesn't anymore. He looks ripped. I'd go as far as to say.
Yeah, he looked in great shape.
So if you've not seen Mike Bailey in a decade, because he's not allowed in the US anymore, he looks good.
And he's been as unfortunate as the US thing is. He I think pretty much fairly soon after he got a DDT tour with the like the wacky US promotion. In fact, I bought an 8x10 of him with a really cool photo of him midair in a moonsault with his face bloodied. It's a fucking fantastic photograph. So he's working there. He's working Rev Pro and whatever Canada indies there are. So he's tipping away. Fair play to him.
Unfortunately, for me, this is where the show started to slide. I must say I wasn't a huge fan of the last two matches. Which is a shame because we knew Tyler Bate was coming, and we knew Pete Dunne was coming. So I was thinking, if anything, we're getting even better now. The Tyler Bate match, he teamed with Angel Cruz against the Social Elite, which is Charlie Sterling and Paul Tracy. A match so unmemorable, I'm not sure it even happened.
I actually can't remember what happened. And the thing is, it's like me and the people who've been going to OTT for a while. I was kind of hoping this would happen because it was like the Angel Cruz Tyler Bate thing was really fun. They had a great odd couple dynamic. I really love Angel Cruz. He's very entertaining. And I was like, I hope because he's the UK champion that they don't just drop it cold. And then, but seeing it in person that they didn't drop cold, it ended up being like a bit of a disappointment. Like, okay, I in hindsight I was wrong. I probably would have liked Tyler Bate to like wrestle like Mark Haskins or something and have a great match. Rather than, this was the death spot. This was the pre-main event comedy tag team match with the the villainous heels. It was it wasn't much to write home about, unfortunately. But that really is a very OTT specific thing they were doing, and it was all right for what it was, but it certainly wasn't anything to write home about.
I liked they had a little video shown earlier in the show where Angel Cruz said, and I quote, "Because of the Freebird rule, he was now also the WWE UK champion." I thought that was funny.
Yes. Angel Cruz is great. He's very, very good.
All his silver hair had come off by the end of the match. His hair was his normal color, which was funny as well.
Yeah. He's great. He's one of those people who I don't know that he necessarily has, like, he's going to get all this play outside of OTT, or it's not like he's going to be a Progress regular or anything. But he's great in his role, and he's a great OTT specific act. So he's very, very funny. So that was that. And then before the main event, we had the announcement. They'd already announced the March show, which is the Road to Scrapper Mania. That's Jeff Cobb and Jigsaw in March. Paul, you're skipping out on that one, right?
I'm skipping that one. I'm not going to go to that one.
Okay, so I'm going to that one, so I'll maybe talk about that at the time. So they announced that like on just on like Twitter, like just regular announcement, and then at this show they announced Scrapper Mania 3 itself, which is taking place in April on Easter Saturday.
April 15.
And it's April 15, and it's from the National Stadium in Dublin, which is a horribly misleading name. It's not Croke Park. It's not a 60,000 seat building, which is what it sounds like when you call.
It's not even the 3 Arena.
It's not even on after Little Mix.
Little Mix tribute act. No, it's not the 3 Arena, which is where WWE runs, which
itself has a reputation for being too small, by the way.
Yeah, it is a building I had to look up. Now, it's from the 1930s, so maybe it was the National Stadium at the time. But it's a purpose-built boxing venue, which sounds good. I mean, that sounds like a great place to have a wrestling show. Mm-hmm. It is a just shy of 2,000-seat arena for music. It is somewhere that TNA have run previously. Paul, you told me that you had seen.
I saw TNA there in like 2008 or 2009. Yeah.
So they are running this new building, which, I mean, before they even announced the talent, that got a pop. Because, I mean, I think people have been as much as people love the Tivoli, I think they have been kind of hoping for a new venue kind of soon, just because, the tickets are selling fast, there's potential there.
Tivoli is going to be knocked down as well.
And that's the other thing as well. It's like the owner of the Tivoli has publicly stated that he's put in for permission to bulldoze the building. So... I suppose it could be worse. Like, they could be like struggling to sell tickets, and then he says, "By the way,"
I mean, they could always do, the Academy or something like that, which is a similarly sized venue. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, apparently it's expensive. I mean,
I assume it is. Yeah, it's right off of College Street.
A couple of the people from the company have been kind of open about this when they're asked on Twitter. It's like there's lots of small music and live event venues in Dublin, but some of them are either just too, like, they don't want to go smaller, right? Tivoli holds 600 people. They don't want to go to a 400-person theater. That's ridiculous. That's downsizing. But a lot of the venues in the 800 to 1,200 size venue are expensive as fuck. And again, this is indie wrestling. People already complain sometimes that OTT tickets are too expensive. So, but anyway, this is a one-time thing. This is not a permanent move, but you would imagine it's a trial for the future. So yeah, they announced, depending on how the entranceway is set up and stuff, National Stadium, maybe 2,000, 1,800, maybe 1,600 seats. And they announced Mr. Will Ospreay.
I couldn't believe my eyes when they announced who they announced, by the way. I was with my brother, and obviously every name that they would read out, I kind of turned to him and go, what? Them as well? And it just kept getting better and better and better till my eyes, it was like a dream. I couldn't believe what they were saying. So Will Ospreay, yeah, that's a good start. Will Ospreay.
So, well, they announced like the Uptown Funkers, quote unquote, which is Will Ospreay and Ryan Smile, who together have the most bonkers matches ever, like just absolutely insane. They announced Ricochet.
Ricochet, he's back again.
Ricochet.
So you got Will Ospreay, Ricochet, go on.
They announced the Young Bucks.
The Bucks of Youth.
The Bucks of Youth. I don't even know. Are they the tag team champions in New Japan? I don't know. Several-time tag team champions.
They're Ring of Honor's tag champs, are they?
Oh, they're the Ring of Honor tag champs. Fair enough.
Which, by the way, Marty Scurll had the Ring of Honor TV title with him, but Tyler Bate did not have the WWE title with him, and I was sad.
And Matt Riddle did not have his Progress belt either.
Anyway.
But Marty Scurll, the only one protecting the biz. But and they even cut to black and said in the video package, like, and
finally,
Kenny Omega. And again, it was like one-upsmanship with the pops for Marty Scurll pointing to the Scrapper Mania sign, and then Kenny Omega.
No, Drew Galloway pointed at the sign.
No, yeah, that was a comma.
Oh, sorry.
Marty Scurll, comma, the pointage to the sign, and then the announcement of Kenny Omega. Absolutely ballistic.
Good God.
So yeah, that is they are putting their dick out. They're throwing it out on the table for this big show. Yeah, so that was huge. So it's going to be fascinating to see. So as I mentioned, 600 people for the Tivoli, potentially 3 times that for the stadium. And
well, they put out the ticket prices today, and I thought they were clever in how they did those.
Certainly,
ringside tickets €55, so more expensive than you pay at the Tivoli, but you are ringside for like this huge show. Floor seats $25, so cheaper than the normal one, so you're saving money and getting a better show. And then the rising seats, or what are they called? The other ones are $15.
Stated, yeah.
So that's probably the one I'm going to go for. Is the because I know in a bigger, if you're towards the back of floor seats in a arena like that, you're not going to have a great view. So we had a discussion here because the 3 of us are going to go again, definitely, to this show. And we were saying, okay, well, we're not going to go for the €55 ones because, first of all, they'd be gone immediately and a little too expensive, I feel, for what you're getting.
Yeah.
So it was like, do you want to get floor seats or do you want to get tiered seats, or, again, whatever they're called? So it was like, do you want to be closer to the ring or do you want to have a better view? And in fairness, it's a small enough arena anyway. It's not like 3 Arena where if you're at the back, you might as well be watching on TV. It's small enough. You're going to have a good view. So we're probably going to go for that. I mean, of course, if they sell out immediately and you can only get floor seats, then we're going to get floor seats. But our thinking is that it'll be probably easier to get those tickets. They're cheaper and you have a great view and you're there. So
yeah,
that's probably what we're going to go for.
I was looking at photos of the venue and I was like, this looks like a great venue for a wrestling show.
Again, that's where we had floor seats for TNA. We were in the 4th row, and we had a great view. My fear is being too far back is you might not have a great view, but no, it's a lovely little round arena. Shouldn't be any issues with views and stuff. And the tickets are very, very reasonably priced, so I'm very much in favor of that.
I've been rallying around looking for groups to go to this thing with, and I believe I have one now. So we're probably going to get like all, because we're going to order together, because obviously, I mean, this is going to be assigned seating, unlike...
Might be, yeah. Probably will be.
They said on Twitter it will be.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Your tickets will have a seat number, so if you and your brother and that want to go, make sure you order them together.
Well, we're going to order them together anyway, so...
So So I was thinking, like, okay, if I can get a group together, that's fine. I was going to bring some friends from Limerick who've like asked me about it, and they're like, "Oh, we should go sometime to that thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, you definitely should." Obviously, I would not have expected them to pay front row, but I was like, if they don't want to go, I would have, for myself, I would have been tempted to buy front row. But I've now since heard back from another group of regulars who were going to go together. So that's fine. So it's going to be fascinating. Godspeed to OTT on that. They've certainly pulled out all the stops for this. I expect they're going to announce more. On their Facebook page, they said Jay White from New Japan is going to be there.
Well, you have Kings of the North and Martina are on the poster as well.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, you have to. I mean, as great as it is to have the international guys, you have to have the OTT flavor in there as well. Actually, one other disappointing thing about this card, no Kings of the North. That was a bummer.
Yeah.
But anyway, so good luck to them. That's selling out. It's no mean feat, but I feel they're going to announce some more names. Grado is listed on the Facebook page as well. And yeah. Now, the Fight Club Pro in the UK, they're doing a huge weekend of shows. And looking at who's booked on their Saturday show, there will be no Mandrews, there will be no Haskins, there will be no Pentagon and Phoenix are in the UK, but they are booked on Saturday, which is a shame. Zack Sabre Jr. is booked. Trent Seven, Tyler Bate, all booked. So they're booked elsewhere.
I'll take the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. That's grand. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, certainly. Don't get
and
me wrong.
Ricochet and Will Ospreay. Yeah, that sounds good to me, mate.
So yeah, so that's fascinating lineup. So that was that, and then to go back to the card on Saturday, Pete Dunne came out for his title match against Ryan Smile, who's an OTT regular. So Paul, you weren't so hot on this match. I also was not so hot on this match for the
This
record.
was my first time seeing Ryan Smile. And to me, he's just a middle of the road kind of cruiserweight. I didn't think he was that good. There was the one spot where he jumped over the corner turnbuckle, of course, to the outside, which was amazing. Like, brought me out of my seat. But everything else, like his promo afterwards was okay, his wrestling is okay, but for like the main event spot, given that we had Riddle against Skrull, I was like, who are you gonna have Pete Dunne against? I was thinking, obviously, your mind starts to wonder. I was thinking maybe Joey Cabray himself would come out. So when Ospreay maybe, yeah. When it was like Ryan Smile, I was like, oh, but maybe he'll be really good because I know he teams with Ospreay. And anyway, he kind of wasn't. He was okay, and the match itself was okay.
Yeah,
so a little bit
I
of
really
discord
love Ryan Smile, but I thought the match, was first of all, I didn't care for the theatrics at the end with the ref bump.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I mean, that's not my style of main event. And also there was the weird decision to have Dunne go heel. Now Smile is a natural babyface. He's a great seller. And all this stuff. So I can understand going so heavy on Dunne as a heel, but like people were doing the bowing entrance when Dunne came out, like he was.
Well, Dunne was treated like a superstar. In fairness, yeah, he had that aura about him.
He's as well as being great, he's also someone OTT fans gravitate to as one of their own. Because to be fair to OTT, I mean they've been pushing the guy I don't say way before anyone else, but pretty much they were ahead of the curve with Pete Dunne. He really feels like an OTT home team act. So I mean, he was like God's gift on this show. And Smile, he certainly coming out of last year when he had the hero match and he had a great feud with Skrull, it felt like he was on the ascension and he was going to be a champion at some stage. But I think the UK tournament just put Pete into the next level, and I just don't think people wanted to see him lose. And so the heat for the match was maybe not as good as it certainly wasn't as good as the Riddle match. And just as individual performances go, I didn't think it was the best match either of those two guys have had. I thought it was solid. And I thought the moment was good, but just a very odd vibe because Dunne came out, he was beloved, he worked as a heel. Then the match ends, and he basically did the "I'm out of here." Bow to the four corners, wave at everyone like.
But he's on the next show.
But he's on the poster for the next show. But they've taken dudes off the poster.
Oh, they have?
Past.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, and the scuttlebutt, the little birdies,
the goss, the gimmicks
are suggesting that OTT are seemingly considering or are, I don't know, dusting their hands of WWE UK affiliated people. Which is weird because, as I said, they've been on the Dunne train before almost everyone else. But I mean, if you're going to have situations where you can't have him face this guy, or you can't have him, or if you sign up with that streaming service, you can't use that person. I feel like I would almost rather they do this and get it out of the way. Get it out of the way now before it gets worse. So yeah, it was not the best main event, but I still thought it was good, and I'm a huge fan of Smile, so I was glad to see it. Yeah, and so everyone left the show, and I very quickly had a chat with Paul, very quickly had a chat with some other friends of mine because I was running for a bus. But man, the buzz when people left that show was holy shit, the National Stadium.
Oh yeah, it was all the eyes were on Scrapper Mania. Like, whoa.
Yeah. So yeah, a great show, and just OTT continues to be a fascinating thing that I'm very grateful to have on our shores. So in about 3 or 4 weeks, I guess, I will be going to the next show with the Monster Matanza, except not Karen. Jeffrey Cobb. He's challenging Smile for the title. I think that'll probably be a cracking match. And also Jigsaw from Chikara will be there, so that'd be good. And presumably at that show there will be additional announcements and some matches made for Scrapper Mania, so that'll be very exciting. So Joe, do you think you'll make the trip?
Ooh, well, Ireland at Easter sounds a bit risky for me, to be honest.
That's when we fight British people.
Don't make that mistake again.
Yeah, we'll have to set you in like a different section of the crowd, you know.
I also prefer the idea if I would come to go to the Tivoli, because that's kind of like the ECW arena.
Yeah.
OTT. Get the real kind of sweat and heat and loud Irish swearing, you know.
Well, we'll get you over at some stage, I'm sure, for
I might come over for one of the smaller ones.
an OTT show.
Yeah.
That'd be really good. Similarly, we could always go over to England for one of those shows. I hear they've got some wrestling in England.
Yeah, just three nights of Chikara, apparently, in Birmingham.
Oh, not bad.
Interesting.
Will Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks be on it, though? Don't know about that.
Yes.
Oh, never mind then.
Well,